And you couldn't escape it all weekend. Kyle Sandilands' $1 million wedding.
I know Kyle works on another radio station stuff, but I mean, like, to some of the names that we're kicking around at this thing, it's like, we've got to talk about this, right?
Oh, absolutely. We've got people there. Obviously, the Prime Minister, Albo, was there. Guy Sebastian was there. Carl Stefanovic. The New South Wales Premier was there. But then you've got, like, Conrad Sewell. The former Geelong Mayor, Darren Lyons, made an appearance.
For me, people like Conrad Sewell and Guy Sebastian, I reckon they're getting paid to be there. Like, I'm pretty sure they perform, so it's like, oh, you know, we'll pay you this to perform at the wedding, right?
True.
But then someone like Albert, like having the current Prime Minister at your wedding, that's a big flex.
Surely they would have sat down in a boardroom somewhere and said, do we go to this wedding? As in, they would have got the invite and they would have said, do we go? I reckon it would make him look cooler to the young end of the voters, but the older end would be more off him, I reckon.
Especially because some of the other heads that were kicking around at this thing.
So this is the thing. Yes, Ben, it may have been a move of let's make him look cool, but on the other hand, everybody was flaming him because the groomsmen, Kyle's groomsmen, were Simon Main and John Ibrahim, like underworld gangster kind of identities.
I'd love if these photos came out of like Albo holding like a gold-plated gun, like crazy, like in the photo booth with Johnny Ibrahim,
the King of the Cross and the Prime Minister.
Yeah, what's up? But yeah, either way, I mean, it's a fascinating event, right? And we're joined now by Shaun Sandilands, the cousin of Kyle, who wasn't invited. Shaun, you got the big snub.
I did, and look, it's pretty disappointing. I went to his last wedding, which was absolutely a lavish affair. But yeah, all the cousins got snubbed for this wedding. It was only the aunties and uncles who got an invite.
Oh, jeez. Hang on, has he been married before?
Yeah.
He has, yeah. He got married to Tamara Jaber back in 2008.
Oh, right.
And if you want a celebrity wedding, that was it. You know, you went to the urinal, I was, you know, peeing next door to Richard Reid, for God's sake. So it was a pretty big, lavish affair. But as you could see by the weekend, only the top VIPs of Australia were invited.
Yeah. Are you trying to claim that the last wedding was probably better than this one? Because the current Prime Minister was at this one.
Look, I was at the last wedding. I was quite young, so I hit it pretty hard. Mm-hmm. I would have been a lot more reserved at this one, but the last wedding was a Lebanese wedding, so there was about 400 to 500 people at it.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, right.
Okay, so Shaun, I mean, yeah, sad you weren't invited. What were you doing instead on the weekend?
Look, I was actually in Queensland emceeing and judging the Queensland Giant Pumpkin Award.
So even if you got invited, Shaun, you were probably pretty busy.
Yeah. Look, and that's what I would have said to the guys. I said, look, the Ekka needs me in Queensland. I've got to go judge these giant pumpkins. No one else in Australia can do it. So sorry, Kyle, I can't come to your wedding.
Everyone's at Kyle's wedding.
Yeah. Shaun, was there anyone on the list that you saw on Instagram and you're like, really? Like Guy Sebastian, did he need to be there? Like, I'm literally your cousin. Did you think that at all at any point?
Well, look, and I used to work with him at another radio station back in the day. So all of his whole team got invited, which I can kind of expect, but I didn't know he knew Albo that well. And of course, Albo's got a whole bunch of flack over the weekend. Basically, everyone's saying, well, instead of going to Kyle's wedding, you should be, you know, saving the country and, you know, sorting out all this sort of stuff. So I just didn't know if Albo was really that close to Kyle.
You should have gone to Sam Albo.
Well, you know, Albo's last name is Albanese, not Sandilands. So I would have thought that would have got you, closer to the call-up for sure.
I would have hoped. Like, I've known Kyle my whole life, so that's 35 years, and Albo's known him for probably about 10 months since he's been in power.
Yeah. Just back to the pumpkin stuff. How big was the biggest pumpkin?
Look, it was actually a smaller year. It was a 202-kilo pumpkin this year. And it was won by some school students in Toowoomba.
That is one big-ass pumpkin.
Final question quickly, Shaun.
Yeah.
Did you send well wishes via text to Kyle or anything? When did you speak to him last?
Yeah, I shot him a text, and there's a card in the mail. I think it might be with his card that he sent me for my wedding a couple of years ago that never actually arrived. But,
he's strapped for cash, isn't he, Kyle? So, you know, I think his wedding was worth about $1 million over the weekend, they're saying. So, you know, you can't expect $20 in the card for you.
No.
Your wedding.
Look, what would you buy, Kyle? Like, you know, $1 million wedding and I rock up with, hey, here's $150 cash. Put it in your wishing well. Get the gold.
Maybe you could have given him a 202 kilo pumpkin grown by some kids in Toowoomba.
It's the gift that keeps giving that pumpkin.
Yeah, he could have carved a carriage out for it for his own wedding.
Shaun, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
No worries, guys. Enjoy.